Hey everybody, have you ever had a feeling of mourning? Not like AM, PM. No, I mean like a feeling that you are very sad about something and you have to actually go through the 5 stages of grief to get over it. Well, I'm going to discuss with you today a feeling that I had over the holiday weekend. Not that long ago, we celebrated Valentine's Day and it was a terrible day for me. So, we're going to call this show Getting Off the Situationship. Today, with me on 5 Minutes with Meka. Thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and follow me. So, according to this article that I found on healthline.com by Miss Kimberly, I believe her last name is Howell. Kimberly Howland. She wrote an article called The Stages of Grief and What Do You Need to Know? She goes on to say that there are 5 to 7 stages of grief, but she emphasized that the 5 major ones that we go through are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. So in the denial stage, we have grief, which is an overwhelming emotion. And sometimes we pretend that the loss or the change isn't happening. So as you move on, you might think in the middle of your divorce, hey, they're just upset. This will be over by tomorrow. They'll get over it. Maybe in a job loss, they may say, they would gotta be mistaken. They'll call me tomorrow and ask me back. They need me. The death of a loved one, they may say, she's not gone. She's going to be coming around that corner any second now. And in a terminal illness diagnosis, they may say, this isn't happening to me. The results are wrong. Anger. And I think I'm going through this part now. Anger at not someone else, but anger at myself for being vulnerable and opening up at a time that I thought I was healed and that I was okay, and giving myself to someone who wasn't capable or did not have the capacity to love me back like I loved them. Where there's anger, it might be redirected at the person who actually died or your old boss or your ex. Not everyone will experience this stage of grief. Others may even linger here. But as the anger subsides, however, you may begin to think more rationally about what's happening and feel the emotions you've been pushing aside. You can also go through the next stage, which is bargaining. You're going to feel vulnerable and helpless. And in these moments of intense emotions, you want to regain control over your feelings or regain control over the affected events. So sometimes you may say in a breakup or divorce, if I had only spent more time with him or her, maybe he or she would have stayed. You might have an opportunity in your job loss, and they may say, if I only worked more weekends, they would have seen how valuable I was, or how valuable I was in that relationship if I'd have just did A, B, C. In the death of a loved one, if only I had called her that night, maybe she wouldn't be gone. And in a terminal illness, you might have said, if we had only gone to the doctor sooner, we could have stopped this. The depression is the hardest one for me. I wasn't able to get out of bed. I felt like hopeless, and it was very hard for me to interact with my loved ones and friends and family. I did go and get gifts for my kids, and I did make their days feel special, but it was so hard for me to go on. And I'm feeling like I'm getting past that stage and I'm healing. The last stage is acceptance. And it's not actually an uplifting stage of grief. And it doesn't mean you move past the grief or the loss. It just means that you've accepted it and you have come to understand what it means in your life now. Sometimes we have to take control of our own destiny. Sometimes we have to go through all those stages of grief, but we all have to know that we're worth it, that we have a purpose for being here. And even if with that grief or loss, we're still valuable as human beings and we deserve to be treated with the utmost respect. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining the Chocolate Chat with Meka. 5 minutes with Meka. Grab your tea. Come chat with me. The Chocolate Chat with Meka. Love you. Bye. Mwah.